What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another episode of the Forgotten Race Review as I still sit and try to figure out what I'm going to call the Ancestry one. Arg! Life is hard, but today we're talking about another alternate Aasimar heritage. Today, an Aasimar heritage I truthfully don't know a whole heck of a lot about. The Garuda-blooded Aasimar. If you're liking what you're seeing, remember to like, subscribe, and ding the bell for all your Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition content. And today, this episode of the Forgotten Race Review is brought to you in part by Michael Baker. Thank you for your support, my friend. Now let's hit it. So on planet Earth, the Garuda is a legendary bird or bird-like thing in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain mythology. Garuda is described as the king of birds, shown either in zoomorphic form, like a giant bird, or a man with wings and some bird-like features. Generally speaking, Garuda is a protector with the power to swiftly go anywhere, ever watchful, and an enemy of the evils of those religious beliefs. In Pathfinder, a Garuda is a chaotic good outsider, which doesn't get a whole heck of a lot of flavor text. They are noble bird-like creatures that inhabit rugged hills. Whilst they remain detached from humanoid societies, they are impetuous and gallant and serve as protectors of nearby communities. And of course, my friends, when protectors of communities and humanoids love each other very much, sometimes that spits out, eventually down the line, an Aasimar. Most Garuda-blooded Aasimars grow feathers during puberty, so that's surely awkward around the rest of your mammalian friends. The majority of these Aasimars have shimmering wings. The wings can be virtually of any color, and sometimes they're born with taloned fingers or toes, as well as amber eyes, like the eyes of an eagle. Much like the Garuda, the Plumekith, as they are called, tend to take action at the spur of the moment, rushing into the heat of the fight to fight evildoers, then asking questions after all those evildoers are super dead on the ground. Now, as we've said a billion times before, your particular Aasimar has the height and weight of whatever humanoid race it sprang from, comes of age when they come of age, may live longer, may live the same rate. Flavor to taste, my friends. Now, let's take a look at those stats, shall we? Now, much like last week when we talked about the Azada-blooded, this is a variant on the vanilla Aasimar. A lot of the stuff will look the same, some of the stuff looks a little different. The Plumekith receives a +2 to its dexterity and wisdom with no negs. Two of the best stats in Pathfinder 1st edition getting buffs, you say? Yeah, sure, I'll take it. They are medium native outsiders with a base speed of 30 feet, dark vision out to 60 feet. They have resistance 5 to acid, cold, and electricity, and receive a +2 racial bonus on acrobatics and fly checks. Some of the most useful bonuses, not gonna lie. You would be surprised how many times rules as written, someone who has cast fly on themselves in combat needs to make a fly check. That +2 could be the difference between life and careening into the ground to form a bluish-greenish smear as you use your hero point to suddenly reconstitute and not be an ooze. Hey, good for you! They also get See Invisibility as a spell-like ability once per day. Is that better than Daylight? Maybe. Hard to say. It certainly has its uses though, and a lot of the things the Garuda-blooded brings to the table are in fact very useful. A +2 to dexterity is a +2 armor class, initiative, reflex save, acrobatics checks. Oh, by the way, you get a buff to acrobatics in-house, stealth checks, and once you get that agile weapon finesse going on, attack and damage rolls. We've gone over a million times how in Pathfinder 1st edition, dexterity is just better than strength. Once you get all those feats and the initial early level grind is done, you just come out better. Usually because you can also add another ability score to your armor class to come out better than the guy in full plate with a tower shield. Oh wait, we have a buff to one of those too at wisdom, which also buffs perception, sense motive, and will save. The Garuda-blooded is super strong. For that reason, and because I think it would be fun to play in the Impossible Kingdoms of Vudra for a campaign, I would love to play one. There's a whole section of outsiders and monstrous things that I have never got to fight or really break out in my life. Nagas, Asura, Rixasha, all of which have 5 or 6 different creatures existing in that subcategory, and you just don't see them a lot of times in your games. That which we don't see is that which we cannot metagame against. Maybe it's a rhino, maybe it's some weird dragon thing, who knows? Anyway, GMing for these guys is definitely a thing unto itself as well, given the fact that I have to imagine most people who don't know what a Garuda is will see someone with a funny skin color, bird-like eyes, and feathers for hair, and immediately start asking about a billion questions. Maybe that shtick gets old after like the third village where everyone wants to know who does your hair, but I think it would definitely come up in provincial villages that may or may not even know what an Aasimar is, let alone a Garuda-blooded Aasimar. To say nothing, again, of GMing for a character who is not from the Inner Sea region could give me, the GM, a segue into monsters I don't normally get to use, and I think that's really cool. But what do you think, guys? Have we played it? Have we GM'd for it? Are we mad at Tommy for not making Garudamon references? No Digimon here, sorry kids. Leave it down in the comments below. Next week on the Forgotten Race Review, as we hunt down the few remaining non-core races this channel has yet to cover, and now I truly realize how small that list is getting. Next week, it's the Sphere of Neblin. Hey Lucy, you're up next week. See you then.